Sometimes we play offensive or defensive in our pickleball games. A big hint is to understand how your paddle face is at the moment of contact, so that way you can further understand how it will react when you play out the point. As you all know, sometimes we win some and sometimes we lose some. So let's get into it. So all we're working on, Maggie, is just right off when we warm up, we're being aware of our paddle face. Here's the paddle positioning for your hand. I'm left-handed, so I'm just showing you continental grip. See this right here, right on top. The more I go this way, the more western I get. So again, you're going to have some people all the way over to an extreme grip like this, and even a lot of people go the other way. So instead of a continental going western, they go eastern, and they have it more of like a frying pan, nice and flat in front of them. And you'll see this with some pros as well, where their wrist is behind the paddle, and you'll see them punching at the ball like this. And sometimes they'll do a frying pan, what they call a frying pan one as well. So make sure that the grip that you use, you know the limitations or how your paddle is making contact with the ball. When we normally hit our backhands, and you can apply this to forehand, but when we normally hit our backhands, it's usually just a straightforward, just a push. But then the lower we go, we don't think about it. You don't have to adjust your back so much because your base is already there, but adjust the paddle face. And so that way, the lower the ball is, the more the paddle face can open up, so you can get a little bit of lift.
Oh, so it goes this way.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Especially when it feels like you're trying to take it out of the air.
Yeah.
This is mainly for when you're trying to take it out of the air. All right, one more, Max. One more. Try to stay on the line a little bit more, and see if you can take him out of the air. Notice how my gearbox paddle to the left is opening up as I take the ball out of the air. So when you take the balls out of the air, typically in order for you to get the ball over the net, you need to open up the paddle face. Sometimes by a lot, almost like where it's almost flat, but it's still facing just a little bit forward, so that way you can get the forward spin off of the paddle. Let's go over some drills that I like to do against the hitting wall. This is for those players who want to have practice right at the kitchen line without a partner against a hitting wall. Alright, drill number one is going to be your basic dead dink. You're just going to go straight forward against the hitting wall, your imaginary opponent, and just do a lot to where you feel the rhythm and you feel the contact, whether you're working on your backhand side or your forehand side. You should feel as if you're lifting, because when it hits off the wall, typically it goes straight down, which may not be that way when you're hitting against a normal, regular person. But this will help you to be able to lift the ball. So you want to do a couple of dead dinks, and you want to hit your rhythm at first. This is where I like to slow down the video, especially if you're watching pros on YouTube, to where it's the slowest frame rate, so that way you can clearly see what is happening at contact. So the ones that are hitting where on the forehand side here, I am lifting, and sometimes I'm lifting too much, sometimes I'm lifting just enough to where it hits the target area in front of me there, where I'm just hitting a dead dink and just literally just pushing it forward. I'm also playing with the feel as it comes off, to where am I able to impart spin on the forehand or on the backhand side. On that one, that kind of came off a little funny, to where it was a little bit too flat. This one, I'm coming underneath it a little bit more, so it has a little bit more lift. And you notice that I'm fairly balanced. It looks like as if I am in front of the hitting wall there. So as I'm hitting, I'm also trying to figure out how low does my hand need to go under the ball to be able to lift it, and then from there, what do I need to do with my paddle? Do I need to turn it more open as I hit so I can get lift? Do I need to lift and then turn over a little bit to get the top spin on the forehand side that I usually like to do? So you'll start to build up your preferences as you hit against the hitting wall. So let me know what you think when you hit against the hitting wall, and see if these different drills not only help you in terms of becoming a more consistent player, but how it feels to be able to impart spin and manipulate the ball while you're hitting on the hitting walls. Let's go to the next drill. I'm going to show you guys my feet. I'm going to be right behind the line, just like this, and you want to keep your feet behind the line. So when you're dinking, you want to be nice and square, and you want to let your paddle be in front of you a little bit, as well as either inverted like this, or if you're for extreme grip, you want to be a little bit more moving. So take a look at my feet to see if they're moving, and also take a look to see how the ball is coming off the paddle as I dink. More of a slow semi-western grip where I'm lifting off the bounce. Now, this isn't to say that you have to keep your feet just like I am, where it's square right on the line. I'm really just trying to focus in on how I am making contact, and if I'm hitting the ball above the actual line or above the actual net, imaginary net against the hitting wall. So this is just something to where if you are just working on the feel from your hands, and you are just trying to repeat the forehand over and over again, especially if you're trying to impart spin, like off the bounce, and it's a top spin that you're trying to impart off the actual hit, off the actual dink. Or if you are working on a certain grip, say you're working on your forehand just like I am here, but you're trying to have more of a continental grip, or you're trying to stay in more of a continental grip. So I was asked by a tennis pro one time, do you change grips while you are dinking or while you are playing pickleball? And I told her, just like tennis, there are multiple grips that you can use and people utilize all the time. Pickleball is not a standardized sport. This is where you, the actual pickleball player, get to experiment and see what works well for you. A lot of players like to be able to get the feel of the ball and like to have a long warm-up prior to playing. A lot of players just like to play right away. For me, I like to be able to do both. I like to be able to warm up. I like to be able to have lots of rhythm before I actually hit the first point, if I can, but sometimes I just like to play right away. But you want to be able to drill, and this is one of the best ways to be able to drill, is to hit against the hitting wall while you're working on something specific, like to where it comes off the bounce and I'm literally imparting a little bit of spin, and the more spin that you impart on the hitting wall, the more it tends to hit down. So that's why I don't roll my wrist or anything like that. I'm just keeping it nice and simple to where I'm flattening it out because it's below the actual net line, and that way I can actually feel the ball coming off my paddle to where it's going just above the net, hopefully, and making sure that I'm ready for the next ball, because it does come back quicker, since right at the net it's going to bounce off the actual backboard and back into the ground again. So make sure when you're doing this that you do a few sets to where you're getting used to the ball coming back quicker and quicker, especially when you start to speed up the ball. Guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please comment below, and please subscribe. I'm going to be playing some more pickleball tournaments in the future, And if you're in the Charleston area, we have plenty of TeamReach codes available for you if you are visiting any of the beach areas, like this is Wild Dunes, or if you're visiting, any of the other areas that we play pickleball in, like North Charleston, downtown Charleston. So if you need those TeamReach codes, don't hesitate to comment below. Take care and God bless.